Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our LifeWave presentation tonight, the 19th of Feb. I have to check the date because time's going so quickly. Very excited for tonight. Myself and Corin Barlow, we are presenting. Corin, this is exciting. I haven't presented with you before.
Yeah.
And the company is going to present the product part of the presentation. There are two parts in the presentation, and I will present the business part. So I will tell my story when I get to my part, but I'm going to hand over to Corin. She's going to tell a little bit of her story, how she got into LifeWave, and then we'll start with the product part. Over to you, Corin.
Okay, so I joined LifeWave in March last year. Um, I had a problem with my left foot and my right hip, and I went to see Samantha, who is a physiotherapist and also a LifeWaver. And on my second visit, she introduced me to the patches. Well, she mentioned the patches to me, and I am one of those health nuts that likes the natural healing that goes on in a body. I don't like taking pills and stuff. And when she told me about it, my ears pricked up and I was all for it. I bought in at premium because I have a not a big family, but I was thinking about people in my family that it would help. I wasn't even using it yet. But my daughter has a bipolar diagnosis and she has ADD. My son-in-law was born with a hole in his heart, and you just think about all these people. My husband's always complaining about his back with the golf, and I thought, okay, let me buy the premium, and I'd really like to do the business because I loved what Sam was telling me. So mid that month, my stuff arrived. I used it, um, and one of the things that I did when I started patching myself was I patched my dog. Milo is a Maltese Chihuahua. He has a heart condition as well, very enlarged heart, and his whole body was just swollen with inflammation. So I started patching Milo, and 2 weeks down the line, he was already quite far gone with his diagnosis. And the vet was saying, well, you're going to have to think about options. If it gets to this stage, you're going to have to think about what you're going to do. And we said, okay, if he stops eating for more than 3 days, he's giving us a sign. And that happened 2 weeks after I started patching. And I thought, oh my goodness, have I made a mistake with these patches? You kind of think everything is going to happen sort of in warp speed, but it takes time. Fortunately for him, it didn't take that much time. He had a bit of a I actually think now in hindsight that his body was actually working overtime with the patches that was healing itself quite quickly. And I think it was just taking a lot out of him. Anyway, the long and the short of it is that he didn't eat for 3 days. We had called the vet to have him euthanized at home, and we had another day with him, one more day, and we were going to feed him his favorite food, which is Woolies chicken. And this young man wasn't eating, but that on the third day, the day before he was supposed to be euthanized, um, he suddenly started showing signs of life. He was wagging his tail. He was acknowledging us when we spoke to him. He ate tin fish in the morning, he had sardines at lunchtime, and he ate quarter of the chicken at supper time. And we have never looked back. And Milo, all that inflammation, all that swelling around his lungs, the constant coughing because his trachea was like being irritated from the swelling, all of that disappeared within the next 2 weeks. And he is just a happy boy. He's like, I think his age is reversed in about 5 or 6 years, and he's 15 years old this year. So that's my story with Milo, and we are so grateful to have more time with him. Is he 100% healed? No, he still coughs, still has a bit of irritation. He's still old. He's not going to be 100,000% right, but he is so much better. He's running around, and we are very grateful for that. My foot and my hip healed. Cellulite doesn't show through my white pants anymore. I discovered that those rivers that were the puddles that were forming on my inner thigh, that were sort of hitting the waves that were hitting south. They sort of doing a reverse now. So I don't have those saggy, baggy inner thighs now, and I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, that's my story. Thanks, Kim.
That's absolutely wonderful. And Corin, I think you all know I'm a doggy lover as well, so I love those stories. Thank you, Corin. And over to you. Let's start the presentation.
Kim, we don't have the sound.
Sorry, I forgot we have to put the sound on with the Zoom. Let me just see here. I'm going to have to I'll stop the share. Sorry, everyone, just give me a minute.
That's always the stressful part.
Yes, yes. Okay.
But we're using Aeon, so we are very patient and calm.
This should be good now.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. For us, it all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we're made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave's phototherapy patches use light that can promote a general state of health and healthy activity unique to each LifeWave patch. Here's how the technology works. First, a patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, infrared energy emitted from the body is reflected back into the body and then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy. LifeWave phototherapy patches promote an environment that enables the body to optimize its restorative energy and enhances your ability to live well without the use of harmful drugs or chemicals. To find out more, contact your distributor. LifeWave. Live long. Live well.
Okay. Can I go?
I'm not sure why it's not going to the next slide, Amanda. There we go.
There you go. Okay, so there's this million-dollar question. Have you been patched yet? Of course, we're talking about the life-changing stem cell patches that's helping people heal. And the man responsible for this is none other than David Schmidt, CEO of LifeWave and the inventor of the X39 patch. David has more than 200 patents and zoomed in on stem cell research in 2008. It took 10 years and $4.5 million to bring to market. Not a fly-by-night issue. So now a little bit more about this incredible patch the size of a 5 Rand coin and patents. Patents can't be issued without the requester being able to prove their claims. So if the patch has a patent, I guess the patch does what it says it does. It improves energy. In this instance, it improves energy, reduces inflammation, manages pain, improves stamina, elevates antioxidants and collagen necessary for every part of the body to ensure it functions optimally, and keeping it all together, I would imagine, like glue. It also improves wound healing, as we've seen on the many testimonials shared. So the patch works through photobiomodulation, a big word for light therapy. So similar to when you go out in the sun and the sun's rays or light wavelengths penetrate your skin and interacts with your hormones to produce vitamin D. So these patches, like the X39 in particular, switches on the peptide, the GHKCU, which is the copper peptide, which activates then your stem cells. What the patch does is that it simply reflects light. Well, there's nothing simple about it, but how beautiful is that? It reflects light from your own body's infrared wavelength into the patch, which then sends that light back into your body through the colored crystals in the patch, as we saw in the presentation video. The light rays, as you know, even from the sun, are made from different colors. This activates your dormant stem cells through the copper peptides. So it's nothing else but light. No chemicals, no drugs, no stimulants, and nothing going into the skin from the patches. So it's non-transdermal. Okay, here you can see a long list of benefits when you use the patches: optimum health and wellness, improved exercise performance, improvements in strength, improvements in stamina, health and energy flow, no drugs or stimulants. Now, I can attest to all of these things because my energy at 62 when I started using it, 62, was lagging. With all these aches and pains, it takes a lot out of you to just keep yourself going. And the energy and the benefits that I saw even in my skin were just amazing. So yeah, definitely I've seen all of those benefits. Okay, so the X39 long-term results. Now, before I get into trouble with Amanda, let me read this disclaimer. Lifeway products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. Okay. But it doesn't it doesn't change the fact that people are having amazing results and their bodies are healing themselves. So one of the most exciting case studies revealed that 4,000, no less than 4,000 genes begin to reset when you start using the patch. The brain becomes balanced, collagen increases and works its magic on the organs that need it, and you see the outward manifestation on your skin. And like the heart, which according to one study reverses in age. Name me one other product at this price that does this. I'll be surprised if you can. And Kim will explain why that patent is beneficial to you if you're deciding to do the business. So how do you use it? We wear it 12 hours on during the day, 12 hours off at night to allow the peptides and stem cells to go to work. Drink your water. Add electrolytes, very important. You need the electricity and conductivity so that your blood is able to push those stem cells through to where they need to go. And then you have a vehicle to carry all that healing energy and activity throughout your body. It's not just about guzzling water, though. How you drink it matters. 5 to 6 mouthfuls every half an hour or so. Okay. And, of course, LifeWave does things really well, and they make sure that you have all the information you need as a user and as a business person. And if you head over to thisisit.info.com, which is the official website, you can get more details there and be educated by many case studies, testimonials, doctors' panels, and videos from the CEO himself. I can attest to the great results myself. So, when are you going to get patched if you're not patching yet? Over to you, Kim.
Okay, thank you very much, Karen. That's amazing. And you know, the testimonies are literally life-changing. We're going to stop the share here and ask for some testimonies. Amanda, you can take over. But I've been in tears many times on this call when we've done this. So over to you, Amanda, for the testimonies.
Okay, guys. So this is, to me, is the highlight of the presentation, is the testimonies. And Kayla's already raised her hand. She wants to share. So that's awesome. Go for it, Kayla. We love your energy and we love to hear your story. And it's Kim, as Kim is saying, you know, I've cried many times. And, you know, you hear this testimony many times. It touches my heart every time that I hear it, because every time it's a life that's been changed, and that never gets old. So thank you, Kayla, for putting up your hand. We'd love to hear.
No, pleasure. I'm always the first one in line, especially when I've got guests on the call. So welcome to my guests, and thank you so much, Karen and Kim and Amanda. All right, so I am officially now almost 7 months in after I started patching, and I just wish I knew about this sooner. I said to my husband the other day, I think if I knew about these patches sooner, I would not have had to go under the knife for my neck and my back at all, But come as it may, I've healed because of the patches. So I suffered a tremendous a lot with my lower back for more than 21 years, and I ended up starting to get arthritis. So I had a lot of pain in my joints. I could not remember the last time I slept through, 8, 9, or 10 years ago. Literally, I was awake every half an hour to an hour. Felt like I had a newborn baby in the house for 8 years plus. Anyways, and because of all the pain medication I was on, I started getting terrible dry patches on my eyebrows and on my eyelids, in and around my ears. And then things like the gray hair starts setting in as we get older. You start getting these pleats that you want to actually just take out with the iron, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. And granny hands, these little pleats here on your chest when you sleep and whatever, fun and games once you are over 40. But in any case, so I had major neck surgery done February 2024. Took me triple the amount of time to heal, and I couldn't understand why. Because of my heart, I'm still very, very young. And then from August until November 2024, I was bedridden on and off with my lower back. This is now after many years. I have alternative treatments, biophysio, chiro, rhizotomies, facet block injections, acupuncture for 6 months, twice a week, as well as 4 epidurals needle down my spine with cortisone and steroids. So being there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Long story short, went for major back surgery November 2024, ended up walking with my back brace until August last year. Because I wasn't healing properly and I needed that extra support. So my dear friend Mandy introduced me to the patches. Within 2 nights, I started sleeping through like a baby on a bottle of Panado syrup. The second week, I stopped wearing my back brace, and all the pains in my joints, guys. I had such pain in my fingers and in my wrists, my elbows. That is gone. Twitch that I had in my head's gone. Brain fog, memory loss. I can focus again. I've got a lot of energy and endurance, and I'm just ready to go. And it's just been absolutely phenomenal. Friends who's had spasms in their necks, my children who had falls on their knees and ankles and whatever, been patching them with Icewave for almost immediate relief. And I've been on X39, Eon for inflammation, guys. The first 8 weeks, Eon, please. For inflammation, it's also the happy patch. But you always patch with your X39, and it's been absolutely wonderful. I will never stop patching. Never, ever. And the most amazing thing is it's age reversing. So, yes, I no longer feel 80 plus VAT. I'm not 20 plus VAT.
Thank you, Kayla. Awesome. Peppy, there's a button in the bottom where you can raise your hand next to chat. It's okay. You can do this, I'll know. But I raised my hand first because I want to share something. I'm a one patch wonder. I had amazing results, but I'm not going to go into that now. So I understood from the start that the longer you use the patches, the more things happen in your body. So it's not supposed to be a quick fix, but even though we have some fantastic results very quickly, some people. But anyway, so after about 2-3 months, I started realizing my skin is amazing. Even now, I'm almost 62, and I'm just amazed at my skin, and people really comment on that. But then I started sleeping. So I was in a lot of stress when I started with LifeWave for a long time. So for me to sleep, I had to read, and that would take up to like 12 o'clock. And then by 3 o'clock, I was awake again from the stress and struggled for a long time to sleep and so on. Guys, nowadays, it's almost 2 years now. I just sleep at the drop of a hat. It's like 5 minutes. I still try and read and I'm gone. It's just gone. It's getting better. I just sleep. And then after a while, I went for blood tests. And some people know that. And when I asked how was my blood test, they said everything's fine. I said, but did anything change? And they said, yes, your kidney functions improved. And I didn't even know that I had kidney problems. And this week I went for blood tests again. 6 months later, exactly the same. Nothing went back to the way it was. So I'm so happy about that. And I'm very happy to say that I'm not using any of my antidepressants, anxiety medication that I've used for 25 plus years. I'm not using that anymore. I'm very grateful. And if you watch this space, something is busy happening after almost 2 years. I'm not going to go into details now, but it's been 50 years that I've been struggling with a life, something that really just messed up my life for 50 years. And I'm not completely out of the woods yet, but it's busy changing my life. And I've been, with anything you can think of, I've tried fixing that and I couldn't. So watch this space, but over to Peppy now. Thank you, Peppy. You can just unmute, Peppy.
I'm struggling to unmute. Let me see. Peppy.
I'm so
There you go.
sorry. So Amanda introduced me to LifeWave
Look how
about a year.
amazing Peppy's looking. Wow.
Thank you very
You look
much.
gorgeous. Wow.
Well, that's all the people that see me. Some people that don't even know me ask me what I'm using. So yes,
And
that's
your hair's
why
so
I want
dark.
to do.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. Okay, I'll leave you
Thank
alone
you,
now.
Nicholas. Okay, so I also had all the stuff that Kayla had, also the back operations, but heavy back operations, and all the rhizotomies, facet blocks, everything. And I was on my migraine medication, Topamax, everything. I'm off all the medication for anxiety and stress and all that stuff because of my house that burned, and I'm off all that medication, but um in a year's time, using the X39 and sometimes the Ion, I just realized then I was insulin resistance because I've lost 40 kilograms
Wow.
since I've started patching. And this is a big thing for me because I tried everything. I tried everything and nothing helped. So here I'm sitting and I'm 40 kilograms lighter than I was a year ago. So
Crazy.
I can just say I'll never stop talking about it. I'll just told Amanda yesterday or Monday, the people that sees me that don't even know me ask me, what is that thing? What is that patch? There's a light at the back of you, that energy, positive energy light. That I wasn't myself with all the medication I was on. I called myself I was a druggie. And now I'm an energy bunny with the X39 and the Aeon. So yes, thank you to all you people that help me, especially for Amanda, the two Amandas in my life. Yes, you're great, and LifeWave, I'll never stop talking about and patching myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so
Peppy.
much. Sorry, I just want to say, Karen, you need to rewatch this presentation because your jaw is literally hanging open when you heard what Peppy was saying. But that's how we
40
feel.
kilos. I mean, that's a whole person.
It's amazing. Thanks, Kim. Over to you. Thank you,
Thank you
Peppy.
so
Awesome.
much. Yes, thank you, Peppy. Thank you, everyone, for those amazing testimonials. And I mean, as we know, they're just jaw dropping, seriously. So, just very quickly on to me, how I started. It was about a year and a half ago. And my good friend Amanda, over there, Amanda Ace, she mentioned to me that there was something she wanted to share with me. And I thought, oh my word, I don't think I want to hear this because I know Amanda's into multi-level marketing and I'm allergic to that kind of thing. I'm just not interested. But because I know, love, and trust Amanda, I said, okay, send it through. And she sent through some videos that were only like 3 minutes each. Maybe some of you have watched those already. And that was it. I mean, I was literally taking notes. And it's like Karen was saying, I just wasn't into anything pharmaceutical at all. I'm lucky I haven't taken much medication in my life, but I've always been looking for something, that self-heals. And when I saw that, I knew. So here it is, something I've been waiting for all along. And that was it. I actually started sharing about the patch before I'd even signed up. And so all of those things, all of the benefits that Karen was talking about, I've experienced, like every single one. I just want to quickly share one story and many others, but one story because it might help someone. And something, you know, I've now heard about conditions that I've never heard before since I've been in LifeWay. And it was last year, September, I thought there was something wrong with my tooth. I was getting excruciating pain on this side of my gum, and I was really scared because I'm petrified of the dentist. But anyway, eventually I went to the dentist, and there was absolutely nothing wrong with my teeth. I mean, he knocked and everything, there was nothing wrong, but the pain it had gone then, but it came back and it was getting worse. And then the dentist said to me, he thinks this has got something to do with nerves. So I started researching, and then there's something called trigeminal neuralgia, which I had no clue about before. And if you don't know about it, it's more predominant amongst women, like over 40, 50 years old. And it normally starts on one side of your mouth and it goes all the way up. And when it happens, it's like an attack on your face. You can't move your mouth, you can't eat, you can't talk. And I lecture as well. So that would happen when I was lecturing. It was like so scary. And basically, there's no real cure for it. There actually isn't too much you can do about it. So I thought, no, here we go. I'm patching. I actually patched. I always patch with X39, but I started patching with Aeon as well, the inflammation patch, as you said. And I used to sleep with it on my gum here. That was on the 18th of September. I've done nothing else. I did take a vitamin B supplement. And so I had it 18th of September in my calendar. I remember the date I went to the dentist. And before the 18th of November, so before 2 months was up, something made me think about it. Oh, the 18th is coming up. And then I realized, but I haven't had any symptoms for at least 2 weeks before then. So, and it just hasn't come back. It just hasn't come back. It's just miraculous. There have been slight times when I could feel something, but that's it. Like once or twice. So it's magical. We know it happens, but when it happens to you, it's just mind blowing. So that's my little story. And many others, but I won't keep you. So I'm going to carry on with the share, and let's see where we are. And yes. So just before we go on, I'm going to be doing the business side of the presentation. I'm very happy to do this because I'm an entrepreneurial expert and business a coach, so I love this part. I absolutely love this part. When I got into LifeWave, I knew zero about the patches and I knew zero about the compensation plan in the business. But this time around, I did things differently. I said, I want this. I need it. I was already sharing, as Kayla said, to everyone you can think of, Karen as well, that needs it. And I learned along the way. I'm still learning. But what I learned is it's a 20-year-old, 21 actually this year, company. And in 2021, we were at about 20 million, which is, pretty good, right? It's very good. But you can see a huge jump from 2021 to 2020. 20 to 320 million. I'm not going to go through each year. You can see it. We're now on the push for 1 billion. And this year, I think we'll definitely make it. Now, that does not happen in business. It just does not happen in business. And the reason that being between 2021 and 22, that is when David Smith introduced the X39 patch. It's the patch that works with stem cells. And also, we are part of This Is It team, and Steve and Gina Merritt, who are in the States and are just phenomenal people. They're very well-versed with multi-level marketing systems, and they put our system together. It's duplicatable, it's easy, you run with it, and that's why there's been so much growth. So really thanks to them and X39. I didn't know about this as well, but you can actually go on to businessforhome.org. You can do this yourself. And they rate all the different direct marketing companies in the world. And we are, I think for the second or third year running, we are number one. We are number one, and we're known as the darlings of, multi-level marketing. And as you can see with that line, how much we've increased just since 2019, there's been about a 3,000% increase or something like that. It's just unheard of. So this happens when you've got a product that works and when you've got a system that works. If you want to grow in your business, I know many people here have got their own business. You've got to have a product or a service that works, and you've got to have a system. Also, just last year, I mean, it's just carrying on and on. We won the 2025 Biotech Breakthrough Award, and thousands of people were nominated for this. I mean, thousands. I think it was the first year that this was a thing, and we won that as well. So it's just, we're in the right place at the right time, and we're ready for this. The world's ready for it. This is my favorite slide. Okay, this is my favorite slide, because whenever I see this slide, it always makes me think about my life. And it's like, so what's important in my life? Because I hate to say it, but we are going to pass on one day, and I want to live my best life while I'm here. Is it family time, security, travel, better health, less debt? There've been many people, and we know them, personally know them, who started LifeWave with a lot of debt after COVID. I was one of the fortunate ones that didn't have debt, but my reserves were very low. And now, just after LifeWave of about 2 years, I'm thinking of one person in particular, Merle. She has absolutely no debt. She's traveled the world in 2 years, renovated her house on LifeWave, and that's all happened. But as Merle will say, with that also comes everything else. She's got more time with her family, there's more security, and of course, better health, because Merle started for better health. That's why she started. So what's important in your life? Okay, so in LifeWave, there, just very quickly, we onto a new compensation plan now. There are 9 ways to make money. Before, which was not so long ago, there were 4 ways to make money. Now we've got 9. One of the ways, and there are 3 different ways, is to be a customer. So you don't have to work the business if you don't want to. And no one in LifeWave will force you to do anything you don't want to do. Some people just want to wear the patches, and many go on to work the business. But if you just want to be a customer, that's absolutely fine. But there are 3 different levels. The retail customer, people actually do go retail. I don't know why. Some people, a few people. But, if you want to buy the patches, you're not interested in the business, and you want to buy it wholesale, there are 2. There's a Preferred Customer Plus program, and the person who brought you here or introduced you to LifeWave will explain that. But fantastic, and you get it at wholesale price. Okay, then if you want to become a brand partner, which I immediately wanted, because one thing I've learned, I wish, as Kayla said, I mean, if I wish I'd known this years ago. But the one best ways for any business owner to make it is to have residual income coming in. And it is so amazing. Just very quickly, everyone, I was in Vietnam for 2 weeks in December. There was nothing I could do on my LifeWave business. It was just not possible, but the money still came in. Why did it come in? Because I've already done the work, and whatever you've worked on, it will still flow in and grow. Because all of the people that you've introduced, they're continuing to work their business. It's just amazing. Bill Gates said that if he had to do it over again, he would go this route, okay, instead of marketing through the stores and that kind of thing. So if you want to become a brand partner, we have different programs. As Karen said, she came in on premium because she was just thinking of everyone she could patch. Many people who have clinics or they're well-being practitioners, we've got chiropractors, we've got doctors. They may want to go that route as well for their patients. But you come in where you fit in. So I actually came in at core, $295, you get 3 sleeves of X39. You can also mix and match them. But I think it was within 3 weeks, I actually upgraded to advanced. Because when you buy product, you get volume points, and those volume points add up. And as they add up, it all leads to commission. And I really wanted to fast track my business. So once I understood just a little bit about the system, I immediately upgraded, and then the rest is history. I've got a long, long way to go, but at least, I've got a foot out the door. So they're different programs. Speak to the person who brought you. We will really guide you to the best package for you. The only thing you need to do as a brand partner, as you can see, the bigger the package, the less you actually paying for the sleeve. But all you do, if you're a brand partner, like any business, you've got to stay active. You know, if you've got a florist, you've got to have flowers in the shop. So all you need to do is buy one sleeve a month, because we have to patch. You know, we have to be the walking example. Besides that, we want to patch. And if you're at a certain level, like myself and Amanda and many people now, then you buy 2 sleeves a month. Okay, so really business is about, there's a problem and someone comes in to create a solution. Okay, and that's what David Schmidt has done. I mean, the market has been oversaturated with a whole lot of products, you know, that people with financial struggles, and we see it more and more because of what's happening out in the world and the food that we eat, pollution, etc. Just poor health and wellness. And very honestly, nowadays, especially since I've been in LifeWave, it's amazing how many people come to me and say, Kim, I don't know how many doctors I've been to, and no one knows what's going on. They can't diagnose me. I don't know if you've come across that. So what's the solution? You know, phototherapy, technology, just a little patch that you put on your back or wherever else, a duplicatable business model. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We suggest you don't. People who try and reinvent the wheel struggle to build a business. And then, of course, optimum health and wellness. And that's what I think we all want. I think we all got into that for that. Maybe some people more for the business, but eventually, you know, we all want to be healthy. So I can talk a lot about conventional business because I work a lot with people. You know, it's, of course, we all want our businesses. I love my business, but it is high startup. There's high costs. There's a high risk, long hours. And it takes you a long time to actually start making money. Most startups don't even last 5 years, and then you've spent all that money. LifeWave business, low startup costs. You can start up for as little as about 2,000 Rand. You get a 30-day risk-free. You make your own schedule. As I said, I was in Vietnam and I didn't worry. I didn't have, connections, so I didn't worry. And it's got a 20+ year record. So it's not like we've just started. 20 years of testimonials of people making lots of money, etc., etc. It's a no-brainer for me. And it's no brick and mortar. The brick and mortar is also what costs money. So as I've already said, there are 9 ways to earn. 9 ways. I think, Amanda, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're the only, or one of the only multi-level marketing companies that has 9 ways to earn. So LifeWave is also kind of adding to this whole market, you know, a new way of doing this kind of business. 3 customer ways and then 6 ways to earn as a brand partner. Now, I'm not going to go into too much depth because when I started LifeWave, I didn't want, it was too much for me. I just said, I'll learn as I go along. So I'm not going to go into depth here because it's just going to overwhelm you. You go back to the person who invited you, they will explain. And still today, I don't even worry about the compensation plan. When I'm at the next level, then I know it. You know, I don't worry about the big picture. I just where I'm at, I grow from there. But you can see all the paid ranks on the left and the kind of bonus earnings that you get at those ranks. But what I do want to speak to you, it's as simple as this. This is what we all have done. So there you are. You bought into the business as a brand partner for whatever package you chose. And then you bring in one person on your left, your mom, your dad, your sister, your cousin, your colleague. And then the next one's clamoring to join because they're seeing your results and you put them on the right. The next one comes in, you put them on the left. So we've got a nice balanced system. Now remember, and you'll see in the next slides, that those people underneath you, for example, one of my first level brand partners is Trish. Trish might be watching this afterwards, but she starts building her business. So what's happening here with me is now happening in her business. So your team just grows and grows without you actually even knowing it. The binary system. We have now, with the new compensation plan, we have a fantastic business launch. It really is. We didn't have this before. So let's say if you join today or this week plus the next 8 weeks, and the person who brought you in will show you exactly how this works. We show you how to get onto it immediately, and you immediately start earning dollars. Okay? It's a real amazing way to fast track you. Because when you fast track and money coming in, you just want to do more. You just want to do more. Okay? And we'll explain that to you. The business launch bonus. And I love this one. The mentor matching bonus. Just to explain a little bit, I'm only going to explain one level. So let's say I told you I brought in Trish. She's my first downline. Okay? Now, when we bring in someone, and I mentioned to my visitor on the call, and I mentioned to her before, we don't just let you go. We hold your hand. We help you. We support you. We've got such an amazing team here. Even if it's not in my team, it's in the big team, the wider, the wider picture. But let's say now Trish, this is called the mentor matching bonus. Let's say she earned $1,000 this week, because we earn weekly, by the way, everyone, not just monthly, we earn weekly. So because I brought her in, I introduced her to the program, but I'm helping her, I'm supporting her, I'm guiding her, I'm there for questions, whatever's needed. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to refer to Amanda, to Mul, to Kayla, to Karen, whoever, okay? Because of that, if Trish earned $1,000, I'm now a one-star director. I will earn $200. Automatically, it's in my e-wallet, okay? Not of Trish's money. So it's not 1,000 minus 200 for Trish. She gets her 1,000, but I get 200 from the company to say that's saying to me, Kim, thank you. Thank you for introducing Trish, and thank you for helping her. And it just goes down. Can you see? Down to 6th generation. And there it is. I just love that picture because that's really what happens. There's Chris Hutting. He's got a team up in Joburg. He's one of our, part of our This Is It team. I think he's, the other day I was reading, he introduced, at that stage when I was reading, he introduced 86 people. So he's personally signed up 86, but he's got 10,000 people in his network. 10,000. Because everyone you bring in is growing their business. It's really win-win-win. It's win for the company, win for us, and win for the person you brought in. Okay, Karen already mentioned the one site. This is it. This is it. Info. Everything you want to know about X39, about David Schmidt, about case studies is there. And then this is it. Team. This is if you've ever done multi-level marketing before, or franchise. You buy into a franchise. They give you like a thick manual that sits on your desk, and there's no ways you're going to get through it because it's just impossible. Now that thick manual is all in a nice website, very simply and easily put out. So anything you want to know about the business, it's on there. If you want to know more about the compensation plan, if you want to know, if you want to set your goals, if you want to know something about the X39, you go on there. Two great sites. You can actually take a screenshot quickly if you want to, of those two sites. Okay. So everyone, the time is now to make your move. Okay. I always like, how serious am I about my dream? How serious am I? We think we are until we ask this question, like, do you really want this to happen? Well, it really is possible. And I'm not just saying it. We see people daily in our team Bonnie just came back from the Bahamas, a free trip. I think this is a second or third trip. It's just crazy, completely paid for. And it's like a trip to die for, it's just 5-star all the way, 6, 7-star all the way. So if you are serious about your dream, there is hope, and there really is hope in LifeWave and X39. So I'm going to stop the share there. What we're going to do now, before Amanda stops the recording, there's time for Q&A. So please, there is no question that is too simple. The questions, we love the questions because someone else on the group has got that question. And then those questions won't be recorded, so you can ask whatever you want. But thank you very much. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you so much, Kim. You did an awesome job. And Karen, you did a fantastic job. And I just love when different people present, how everybody just brings a different view into it. So it's been beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you to all our guests. And I'm going to stop the recording now. And whoever needs to go off can just leave the call, but I will still be here for quite a while to answer any questions. So thank you so much. Let me stop the recording quickly. And our next call will be on Saturday at 4 o'clock. We will post this recording on the different groups. Thank you very much.